Yo, it's Guido coming at you with a Tactics Talk. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in on this episode. It is yours truly in the 50B, top tier in a 357. The 50B is a tier 10 French heavy tank with a big old auto loader on it. We got one artillery on each side and have loaded into Malinovka, Kampanovka. Hey, you know how sometimes, or if you're good many times, you can look at the map and say, wow, I think I know what's going to happen here. Just from the deployment. A lot of times, and I'm pretty good at this actually, to be quite honest, I can look at a game and see the deployment and say, this is not going to work. Now, most of those are caveated with, this is not going to work unless something happens. So let's take a look at this deployment, and I am not well pleased, so I will type something in here in just a moment. I am the only guy going to the 5-6 line. There is a Scorpion headed way over to the east side, and the west side is absolutely chock-a-block with the majority of our team. And it's not even close. It's not even 2/3. It's more than that. Although the WT is fading back now, so there's 5 of us that aren't over there. So there are 2/3 of them all stacked up in one spot. And I said, we're fooked. Basically, in my mind, I said, this is a loss unless the 1-2 line is super aggressive and rolls up whatever's there. Now that could be a recipe for disaster depending on if they had enough over there. So let's see how this goes. I come to the 5-6 and I feel like I don't want to be spotted. I don't want them to know that there's only one here. I don't want them to know any sooner than they have to that there's only a Scorpion over on that other side. And as I considered that for a moment, I said, well, you know what? I am actually just going to flex over to this side. They are lighting some guys up. I saw that WZ. I don't think they have shots because there is a bit of a dip in the terrain right there. Let's see, I'll come up on this little ridge a little bit. So he's spotted, but they can't really see him. So I'm just going to come up just high enough. We'll go ahead and we'll put a shot in here on this guy. There we go. 2 on him, and we'll back out. I don't get spotted, so I'll back out of there. Let's see if I can swing back around and maybe get a shot on this ELC. I do not force a reload because I think I'll get a shot here, and unfortunately that gets me spotted. And I take a shot from the T10, which is probably sitting in the middle in the bush right there. So I'll back out of that, force a reload. You can see that the stack is sitting there, and that's where I started to get worried. There's a 268 V4 down there. There's a WZ. God knows what else is in the bushes down there. And these guys don't seem to be too interested. The Tiger 2, you didn't see that, but he got he got ammo racked. Or maybe you did see it, but he got ammo racked for everything. Whether he got hit by multiple guys at once, I don't know, but he basically evaporated in one shot. As far as I can tell, or a couple shots. One series of shots. Now we've got the object over there. I'm going to fade a little bit further this way to avoid, if you look at the draw distance from the hill, I don't want to get hit from the hill, so we'll throw one in there and that'll go nowhere. There's a side shot into that guy. There's a track. And I'll just throw one more down there. Hopefully that actually pinned and did some damage. That gets me to 1,200. We've got them 3-1, now 3-2, unfortunately. And they have figured out that the east side doesn't have much of anything. You can see they've pushed through. We've got a Scorpion and a WT sitting back. There goes the Scorpion. And now it is ring around the rosy at this point. I cross over, it gets spotted, unfortunately. Unsure by what, to be quite honest. Not sure what could be close enough. It's possible that the T10 or something on the 5-6 line there actually saw me looking around or hanging out in some of those bushes there. 55A. 268 V4. I'll just leave him. Let's get rid of this 55A. Thought I saw something else, and I wish I hadn't actually gone after the Arty. I should have gone after the 268 V4 down to one shot, and I'll force a reload. Now I'm watching the back end over there, the north side where the Lorraine is. I'm expecting them to come up and over that any moment. So this is going to be tricky. We really need to get rid of this 268 V4. So I'm going to push in. Unfortunately, our team should have just gone right at him, kept him lit, got around him on multiple sides and taken him down. For why they are all wanting to face up a V4, I have no idea. But I'm just going to pull in here while he's got to now turn around to deal with the threat. And that's how you do it. They pushed in, got him turned, everybody else shoots him in the side, and down he goes. You see the low, the Lerva, and the T10. These are going to be hard shots. It's upper plate stuff. They're also a little bit hull down right there. I'm just bouncing off of everything. That one actually went through. Very lucky on that. Clip out there, and now I'm going to head towards Cap, get moved back a little bit. There's a Tortoise and a Conqueror. They're not quite far enough down there. It looks like the Indian Panzer's coming up and over. That's going to be trouble if he starts lighting us. There's one guy in the Cap, so I'm ignoring that for just a moment. Just about to reload here and see if I can get some shots in. And these are all going to be very tough to pen kind of shots. Just waiting for this to reload and just didn't quite get there. Bad shot. That was never going to hit him. He's behind a rock. One guy still on Cap. That's going to bounce. So I'm really in kind of a bad spot. Fortunately, the ISU is forced to move around a little bit here. And I can put a couple shots into him. Now I've got to deal with the Cap because there's two on there and they're in danger of capping us out. The Tortoise and the Pantera. Why one of those guys didn't really just push in there and start lighting them up, I don't really know. But I'm going to come over here and help them deal with this. There's a Progetto 65. He's trouble. He can do a lot of damage. The T-30 is just getting a hammer in here. Down he goes. And I get spotted. So I'm just going to push in and see if we can't find what's on the Cap. Turns out to be the T-49 is hanging out right there. So he's looking for cover. I'm trying to sneak some shots through. I don't know what all this rubble and pieces of building and everything else there. So we'll just knock this building down. Getting a lot of luck here. And finally, I'll get one that goes online and takes him down. And didn't even notice till right there that the Progetto had come screaming in. Probably not the best plan. I was going to try to ram him and kill him, but down he goes. And there you go. So from a match that I probably would have bet money on if we'd have stopped it where I started talking, I probably would have bet money on us losing this match. Because that setup for this map is just not a meta setup. But like you can do in a competitive match, if you overload a side and you aggressively attack it and don't lose too much, that actually comes out to your advantage. And in this case it did. We swept up that side, we were able to fall back. The thing about this map is that you can use the cover of the road and those trees to flex back to your Cap and pretty effectively deal with guys that are trying to cap. So if you do the big ring around the rosy thing, really unusual setup for this map as far as where the teams went, but this does happen on occasion. And the good news is that my team pushed, and I think in somewhere, I think I already typed it. Oh, there you go. I like being wrong sometimes. In this case, fantastic. I'm glad I was wrong. 3,730, 1,153. A good example of, in World of Tanks, there's more than one way to win. There is a meta, there is a higher percentage way to win this map in pubs, but they made it happen. Interestingly, this was more of a higher percentage organized play kind of strat where you just swept up one side and came back and dealt with the rest. But you hardly get that in pubs. It's hard to get that coordination. It just spontaneously happened on this one. So good job, team. I appreciate the win on what I thought was a loss. And hey, I ain't always right. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you.